Okay, I want to start with a feeling that I think everybody knows. You're staring at a deadline, you grit your teeth, maybe you tighten your stomach, and you just force your brain to focus.
Hmm.
We call that working hard. But for this deep dive, we're looking at a source, an episode from Deconstructing Consciousness, that claims that feeling, that sensation of pushing, isn't actually work.
It's waste. That's the core
It's a
argument.
pretty bold claim.
It is. The source argues we've basically conflated the idea of effort with the idea of trying, and they are not at all the same thing.
Which, at first sounds like it's just semantics, but when you get into the mechanics of it, it's actually quite different. So if trying isn't the energy you need to do the job, what is it?
They define trying as internal interference. The phrase they use that I like is a mental leaning forward.
A mental leaning forward.
Yeah. It's your nervous system literally bracing itself against the present moment. Think about it like when you're waiting for a slow web page to load and you physically tense up.
Right. You kind of hunch over.
Exactly. And that tension, it doesn't make the page load any faster, does it? It's just a contraction. It's useless.
So it's parasitic energy.
Uh,
But the source goes deeper than just, don't stress out. They actually break down the biological cost of doing this. We're not just talking about being in a bad mood.
No, we're talking about metabolic waste. It is literal inefficiency.
How so?
Well, the source points out the physical markers, the things you can feel in your own body. A locked jaw, shallow breathing, the shoulders being just a little bit raised. When you do that, you are burning glucose to maintain a static muscle hold.
So you're diverting fuel away from your brain.
You are. Away from the actual cognitive task, whether it's writing an email or solving a problem, you're exhausting yourself with the posture of work, not the work itself.
That perfectly explains the 4 p.m. crash on days where you feel like you haven't even moved from your chair. But, okay, here's the kicker for me. If this is so inefficient, why is it our default? Why do we brace for impact when we're just, typing?
This is where we get into what the source calls the identity trap.
The identity trap.
Yeah. We seem to have this deeply wired belief that internal strain equals moral value.
The whole no pain, no gain fallacy.
In a way, yes. It's the story we tell ourselves. If I'm not straining, I don't care enough. Or, and this is the big one, the big fear, if I stop pushing, I'll become lazy.
So the tension feels like a safety rail. We're afraid that without that constant internal pressure, we just, dissolve into a puddle and never get anything done.
It's a control mechanism, exactly. The tension proves to ourselves that we're being responsible. But the source says that's just a lie we tell ourselves.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate. If I drop the tension, if I stop that leaning forward, what actually happens? Does the quality of the work suffer?
All the evidence suggests the complete opposite. The source describes this state not as passive, but as situational.
Situational, what does that mean?
Think of a predator in the wild. A lion isn't walking around all day with its muscles flexed. It's completely loose, completely relaxed, until the microsecond that action is required.
So the effort is a pulse. It's not a constant hum.
Right. It rises to meet the specific task, and then it immediately drops back to zero. There's no carryover static, no lingering tension. The source describes the feeling of it as quiet and clear.
That's the part that really stuck with me, the quiet. Because for me, trying usually comes with a really loud internal narrator. That voice saying, you have to finish this, come on, hurry up, this is hard.
And that narration is what disappears. You lose the internal applause, that little voice saying, look how hard I'm working, but you also lose the internal criticism.
Yeah.
There is just completion. You do the thing, and then you're done with it.
It really reframes what productivity is. It's not about how much weight you can carry, but about how much friction you can remove.
And realizing that trying is not the same thing as caring. You can care deeply about an outcome without having to, strangle your own nervous system to get there.
So here's the challenge for you to take into your week. It's a simple experiment, but I think it's harder than it sounds.
The next time you sit down to do some work, just for a moment, try to consciously strip away the bracing. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, stop leaning into the screen.
And then just ask yourself, when that feeling of trying disappears, is it possible that the only thing you've actually lost is the exhaustion? Thanks for listening.